As a kid, playing Pokemon, watching Pokemon, playing Pokemon cards, or playing Pokemon, everyone thinks, damn, a world where everyone gets a best friend who loves and cares for them, and has awesome elemental powers. Dream come true for the average Pokemon fan. What if, hypothetically, we could live in a world where everyone gets their own Pokemon companion to play and have fun with and battle competitively with? It'd be pretty awesome, right? No! This hell fucking no. Wrong. No, idiot. Wrong. Idiot. This thing will be the death of us all. Run. It's kind of obvious if you think about it that Pokemon arriving in the real world would be very bad for a numerous number of reasons. And there are a lot of reasons. This would be the single most disastrous event to ever happen in human history. Alright, let's go. Okay, obvious stuff first. If you take the time to look into it, these things are not cute. I mean, these are how some of them would look in live action. Yeah, you see my point. But even deeper still, and this will be kind of obvious if you see my other videos, shout out, Pokemon entries for some of these guys are fucking weird. Some of them are disgusting, some of them break physics, some of them kidnap children, and way too many of them can destroy mountains. Side note, I honestly fully believe that a level 5 Rattata can kill an average man. Now, whether or not you agree with that statement, it's at least kind of close. So what the fuck are these things gonna do? And this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Keep in mind, these are all things that can appear in the wild. So these are kind of the obvious immediate effects, but here's the kind of stuff you'll be seeing in the coming days or so. Namely, the effects it's going to have on our planet's environment. Ignoring the fact that Pokemon battles are going to leave permanent damage to playgrounds or roads, because guess what, as much as we all want to, we do not have designated battle areas. And there's a lot worse stuff too. Roaming fire types can cause rampant wildfires in forests worldwide. The world becomes an infinitely more dangerous place, as you are at any moment at risk of angering a wild Pidgey, or Pidove, or Yungoos, or some shit. Also, just to get it out there, all cats, dogs, birds, goldfish are 100% extinct. That's it. It's kept very vague in the Pokemon world as to whether or not they eat meat, and probably for good reason. I mean, they definitely all eat berries, but I have to assume they can't just survive on those, right? And humans in this world do eat meat. So what's the risk that Pokemon decide to hunt humans? They absolutely could, that's what I'm saying. Now, if you ignore the constant threats of violence and the ecosystem crumbling like a Jenga tower, there's a lot of other stuff to worry about that will take effect across a longer period of time. Now remember, Pokemon aren't just strong, they're smart too. They're pretty much as smart as humans actually. I know the idea at the start was that you could teach them tricks and have them learn keywords to do those tricks. You're kind of like dogs. But no, they are able to understand human speech. At least according to the anime, which is canonical enough for me. All that being said, well, why stop at Pokemon battles? Why not hire a bunch of Machamps to construction? Or Alakazam to run banks or finances for business? Those ones are 100% smarter than humans. Porygon can turn into computer code and works as a living antivirus program. Psychic types can read minds, something invaluable in about 10 trillion different career paths. Even corporate espionage. Chansey is super well equipped to look after kids, and there's a couple others too. Okay, look, I didn't want to say this before, but because we've hired you as a bouncer of our club for about 2 months now, and you've been pretty decent. But unfortunately, we've decided to go with a different candidate. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I get it's not easy. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? Oh, but can I just see the new guy quickly? Just for a second. Yeah, sure. He's actually been here the whole time. But he's just kind of short. I'll just pick him up real quick. There he is. No, this is some kind of joke, right? What the fuck is this bullshit? I've been working for you for fucking 2 months. I've given so much of my fucking time. You want to take care of this? You're gonna do really for the best. It's completely fine. You know why? You know your wife? She's been cheating on you. All of this, and you wouldn't even have to pay them. They're sort of just like pets who need to be fed once in a while. Though saying all that now, there probably would be a ton of issues going to civil rights, but that'll be dealt with in the future. Now, to cover the dramatic parts a bit, there would be a lot of positive developments to come out of Pokemon existing. First of all, these things are amazing and will make way better pets than dogs, and even cats. We all know this. We've seen Skitty. But also just think about it for a second. World Hunger is basically finished if you just give third world countries a bunch of Tropeuses. Issues to do with lack of water are just fixed because water types can literally generate it from their own bodies. Natural disasters can be removed before they even cause any significant damage, either by having teleporters evacuate citizens, or strong ground or flying types helping to suppress it a bit. The energy crisis is a thing of the past because of electric types. Water and electricity bills are outdated because you could just have your own Pokemon deal with that sort of stuff instead. Environmental pollution is fixed because of guys like Garbodor and Galarian Weezing, absolute chads that they are. And even to stretch it a bit, because a lot of Pokemon are smarter than humans, they could even help out fix complicated issues like global policies, inflation, geopolitical conflict, and just in general, based on all that alone, our world would become a significantly safer, cleaner, and significantly happier place. But this video ain't over yet, and I haven't even gone to the really bad stuff. All those changes I mentioned would take place across months, probably about a year, maybe 2. What would happen pretty much overnight is that crime rates would explode to ridiculous proportions. Say that you want to rob a bank. All that's stopping you is concrete walls and 8 inches of solid steel, which is nothing if you have an aggron with you. He literally eats that shit for breakfast. And for everyone else, it'll turn to a free-for-all, where basically you can't survive unless you have strong Pokemon. I'd be okay, because my knowledge of Pokemon would finally come to good use, but you guys would be fucked. I don't even need to add much to this section. Your imagination is already doing the work for me. Every crime imaginable would be amplified by the introduction of these loyal beasts. Whether it's Obstagoon threatening people on the street, or Porygon hacking into servers to steal info from governments. And that one leads on to the much worse stuff. The existence of legendaries now implies a lot of things. Firstly, fights between Kyogre and Groudon would cause at least 10 different San Andreases in even less months. Don't even get me started on the time-space gods and the extra-dimensional nightmare fuel. And secondly, because of said legendary, we have on our hands the next great arms race. Every country in the world scrambling to capture the actual gods of this world, or create them. Remember, Mewtwo came to exist for that exact reason. And you gotta ask yourself these questions. What if Giratina just comes in and decides to have a scrap? What if Zygarde decides that we fucked up the environment way too much? What if our version of Mewtwo calls together all Pokemon to declare war? We've seen work to 1 billion lions. Do you think we stand a chance? And what if we start using it to fight our own wars? Remember, from what I said, nuclear bombs are a thing of the past. There's debate to be had about whether or not Pokemon battles will be considered unethical. Obviously, Pokemon dogfights will be huge, but Pokemon games in general are about fighting others. Honestly, I've always overlooked this because Pokemon just seem to be cool with it, you know? I mean, in later games, your bond with them helps them stay in the fight longer, do more damage, which wouldn't be the case if they really just didn't want to be there. Obviously, that was quite a lot. Statements have been said, childhoods have been eviscerated, like cockroaches. The final thing I'm going to say is that I really genuinely believe that the Pokemon world is this perfect utopia. But Arthur, how does that make sense? You just said that Pokemon existing in this world will lead to a global war. How does that compute at all? Because the Pokemon world is not our world. Everything is perfect there. Free healthcare and lodging at Pokemon centers, no homelessness or severe poverty, no interregional conflict. World peace has already been achieved, minus the tiny little itsy-bitsy terrorist groups. But come on, they can literally be dealt with by a 10-year-old. I mean, shit, crime is so low over there that they can get by having just a handful of police officers per city. That's insane. That was honestly an awesome place to live. So what's the message of this video? Don't have hopes or dreams. That sounds about right. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Okay, completely a side note. If you can recognize the Pokemon that's been in the background of this video, right about here-ish, not Sprigatito, then I'll give you a shout out in the next video. It's not super rewarding, but you know, whatever, it's fun.